We are witnessing one of the closest MVP races in recent Call of Duty history, and with two incredibly deserving candidates, each one with a different skill set and value they bring to their teams, how do we decide who wins the award? Do we give it to the guy leading in most KD and non-traded kill categories? Or do we look at the one revolutionizing the AR role and slaying out better than most we've ever seen? Two all-time great seasons, but only one trophy. The community is torn and going back and forth over who's the rightful winner, and with the award likely being announced in just about a week at COD Champs, we need to decide. Who gets the 2025 CDL MVP? Today's video is sponsored by 1v1me, the app where you can watch and stake esports all day. Click the link down below and use code ATC at sign up for a $10 stake. If you're watching Black Ops 6 wagers and search and destroy, this is the place to be. Definitely check it out, and always remember to gamble responsibly. One of the best things a player can do to make a case for the MVP is to lead the league in our most recognizable category, kill-death ratio. Obviously not the only piece of the puzzle, but one all COD players and fans understand and look towards when debating players. Cellium leads the league in 3 out of the 4 KD categories: overall KD, hardpoint KD, and control KD. And in the one he doesn't lead, search and destroy, he sits at just 8th, which is better than most. And on top of all that, he sits in the hill more than his other MVP frontrunner, getting 59.65 OBJ per 10 minutes, and wins more of his first blood duels in search and destroy with a 57% win percentage. He also leads the league in adjusted KD with a 1.16 and non-traded kill percentage with 73.7%, meaning Cellium is helping his team have the numbers advantage over their opponents and plays his life better than anyone in the league. Being the hardest kill in the league has got to be one of the key deciding factors for MVP, right? Well, here's where Scrap stats come into play. Despite Cellium leading the league in 3 of the 4 KD categories, Scrap is number 2 in overall, only 1 spot behind Cellium, number 5 in hardpoint, number 3 in control, and sits at 2nd in SND KD with a 1.21. KD has always been a strong suit for Scrap throughout his young career, but never his best skill. Where he thrives is slaying. 2nd in the league in Slayer rating, 3rd in hardpoint kills per 10, 4th in control kills per 10, 8th in SND kills per round, 8th in total first bloods, and 1st in damage across both respawns. When it comes to getting kills, there truly is no AR that's even close to Scrappy. So if Cellium is the best at KD and playing his life, and Scrap is the best at slaying and laying down damage, it seems both are deserving of the MVP. What else can we possibly look at to separate these two? Let's talk about pace. How fast do these players play? Are they in the action enough to help their teammates? Scrap currently sits at 7th in hardpoint engagements per 10 and 10th in control engagements per 10, playing faster and getting in more gunfights than any AR in the league. Cellium, however, sits at 55th in hardpoint engagements per 10 and 56th in control engagements per 10, leaving only a handful of players in the entire league getting in less gunfights than him in respawn. When you break down all the stat categories tracked by breaking points, Scrap beats out Cellium in 13 out of 18 and is top 5 in 10 of the 12 main stats, while Cellium is only top 5 in 5 of the 12. And all of that might sound insane. Clearly, after that, it's obvious Scrap is our MVP. He pushes pace, he helps his team, and he still gets a ton of kills while playing his life. But there's always a catch. Cellium's role on FaZe is not to play fast. Play styles and roles on your team are one of the most important things in COD esports. Cellium might play slower than most, but if that's what leads FaZe to wins, isn't that why he's so valuable? So now, how do we measure value between two players of different roles and play styles? Well, let's look at wins. Both teams won 2 majors. Scrap might have won the MVP at both majors LA Thieves took home, but if you ask me personally, I think Cellium should have won the Major 1 MVP over Simp, meaning in my mind, both players should have 2 MVP awards at the majors. So let's just take those out of the equation. Overall standings. FaZe, for the first time in the CDL era, are not the number 1 seed heading into champs, falling behind LAT by 35 CDL points and getting 2nd place. A 34-11 series record for FaZe, only slightly beat out by LAT's 37-11 record. So how about map wins? FaZe won a whopping 65% of the maps they played this season, nearly 10% better than the next closest team, Toronto Ultra. LAT, however, won 70.4%, over 5% more maps than FaZe, with 12 more map wins and 11 less map losses. But obviously, these types of stats can be inflated from online play, and the real COD is played on LAN, with the pressure of the crowd and the other team yelling at you across the stage. And we already know both teams won 2 out of the 4 majors, so how about we look at average placement? FaZe's average placement this season was a 2.5, almost always making the grand finals, other than the one unfortunate T6 they got at Major 3, while LA Thieves' average placement was 2, making 3 out of the 4 grand finals finals as well, only placing 4th once at Major 2. Both teams with godlike average placements, both teams making 3 out of the 4 grand finals at majors, but LAT with a slightly better average placement. We've looked at individual stats, we've looked at how the teams performed and how much they won. We talked about player roles. All things considered, the MVP race this season is super close. LAT fans will tell you it's clearly Scrap. FaZe fans will tell you it's clearly Cellium. So either way, we'll be getting a well-deserved MVP. And if you ask me, well, I think you already know who I got winning.